Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with three S's. Jojo here is trying to give me vertigo. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, with Vertigo Joe. How do you...
Sorry. Sorry. Vertigo Joe.
Vertigo Joe that doesn't have a tripod.
I do. It's just a small one. Oh,
Oh,
actually, no. I've got a real tripod.
oh dear.
Oh, sorry. Had to.
Well, we're here to talk about the second to last episode of Survivor and the finale of Survivor. I know it's over. It's late. I know that everybody's moved on. They're looking at the new cast of 45, but we wanted to do our due diligence and just come full circle and finish with this season of Survivor. So let's just get right to the
Yes.
second to last episode, and then so that we can start talking about what's
Fresh.
really going on and like what happens, how it all ends, what we think of the whole finality of the season. So we see Carolyn saying the line of the episode, or the title of the episode, "I'm the Bandit," because Carolyn was the one that used an idol on Carson, and even though she didn't completely need it, she does explain that she wanted to make sure that Carson stayed in the game.
Yes.
So that is why she used it. She didn't want to rely on other people. She wanted to make sure that her guy was still in there. What do you think about Carolyn's decision here?
I think any opportunity to just surprise the jury and make them think that, you're a player and you've come to play and you're keeping your allies safe. Why not? I don't think it was the worst misplayed idol of all time.
It
I
wasn't
wouldn't
it
consider it
wasn't
misplayed.
misplayed. It just
No.
wasn't needed.
Wasn't needed, no. But
It was
I think Carson would think twice about getting rid of Carolyn after that. Even if it was for a day or two, I think that protected her at 5 from him personally. And I don't think that's the worst thing when you're getting close to the end. And Carson thinks Carolyn can win. So to want to have that person stick around, whew.
So Kathy is joining us. Hello, Kathy. Good afternoon. I guess it's evening now, but good evening, good afternoon. What do you think about Carolyn telling the story about her finding the idol and making the X and hoping that someone on Tika was going to find the X, and also assuming that Sarah went home with it since it wasn't Jam Jam?
Yeah, I mean, this woman has great intuition, and yeah, she was correct with the fact that Sarah left with the idol. I think she's a talker, right? And she got excited to talk about how she's a gamer. Like, she's an org queen. She likes strategy. She likes talking game. We see that from her, but we see it in her confessionals. We don't see it with a lot of players, unfortunately. So I think once she started talking, she couldn't help but brag.
When you say org queen, what orgs has she played?
She won some. I think she was known as Cakes, and she won some like big Survivor org. And I guess a lot of people online have played. She's played in countless ones. And post show, she was talking about how it really prepped her. She'd be out on the island and think about something that happened to her years ago playing an online game, and it helped her wrap her head around things and how to like get quick thinking, like making that red X. That happened quicker than we actually saw on the show. So she
What
was.
do you mean by happen quicker? It can only
Um,
really happen as quick as it happened.
I mean, the editing of the episode, like back in episode 4 or 3 or whenever it happened. I guess the day that she found the idol, she made the red cross,
Oh,
and she felt like that was delayed like an episode or two.
I
Um,
see.
so she always had her mind like in the game.
So Carson notices Heidi in the middle of the night waking up pretending like she's going to the washroom, but is really out there finding an idol. And in the morning, Carson tells Carolyn. So everyone decides to go on an idol hunt.
Yeah, why wait till the morning? I'd be like, hey Heidi, you looking for an idol? I'll get up too. Let's do
I
this.
mean, maybe he did wake up and they just didn't show it.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll know in these hour and a half episodes what's really going down.
Kathy says, I guess it's technically pre-evening. Big Bang Theory reference. I have to say, as much as I like comedies, I've not watched many episodes of Big Bang Theory. Like maybe 5 in total.
Maybe 5 minutes in total for me.
5 minutes, that's it?
Though I actually, the cast, in things that I've seen them in, I've enjoyed them all. Just never got into it. Young Sheldon never got into it.
I'm not going to watch Young Sheldon ever, but maybe Big Bang Theory might be something that like, ooh, if like a whole season's on like a plane, I'll watch it on the plane ride kind of
Sure.
thing.
I mean, if I
But
had
like,
to,
but like, I never got into it.
I'd watch it in the sequester with you. We're sequestered in a room. Let's watch
I would
Thursday.
be watching whatever
Yeah.
show we were on.
Yeah. There it is. Smart answer.
Like, yeah, I wouldn't be wasting that time then.
Mm.
All right, so Lauren though is down for Carolyn to be the next vote, and we see Carson like an expert liar because he is saying like, yeah, she does have to go. Like she's such a threat. Like, and Lauren's reminding him of the story, and he's like, yeah, she's such a big threat. Were you convinced by Carson at this point?
After what Carolyn had just done, no, I don't know if Carson is that cutthroat. I think he could be cutthroat, and I think it could have been smart of him to take Carolyn out of the game to try and get a little bit further himself. But he's a good liar, and everyone trusts Carson, and everyone likes Carson.
Mm-hmm. So Kathy's explaining even more. Pre-evening is the ambiguous period between afternoon and evening, approximately 4 to 6. Sorry, it's only funny to those who watch. I mean, I think it's decently funny to coin something, but I've definitely not seen the episode that I'd be like, oh, reference.
Yeah, I would think, oh, that's just okay. That's what we call it now. Okay, cool.
It's cute. It is cute. So we get to our reward, and there are 2 teams, and there's basically one team member that's going to be in a cage ball, and they are going to be receiving something at the sanctuary: foot massages. They're going to be having lunch with a sandwich of their choice, with cookies and fruits and juice and iced tea. Would this be something that you would be into?
Yeah, I think I would definitely be craving the sugar from the iced tea, the refreshingness, the lemon. Yeah, I could see that.
Now it would be American iced tea, so like, would it be like brewed? Because they said juice and then they said iced tea, and I was like, wouldn't iced tea fall in the juice category? But no, I think it comes into like a sweet tea kind of category in the States.
No, I mean I love a cold glass of juice, so I'd probably be craving it. You know me, I would be craving sweets on the island personally. I would also feel so bad for the people massaging my feet. I'd be like, I reek. Like, let's have this earlier on in the season when we don't smell as bad.
But no? I mean, I would take the foot massage.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, like can I shower first?
You know how smelly you would get, so maybe that's bad.
I feel like my feet would get really smelly. Actually, I don't know. I don't know how smelly I would get. I don't think of myself as stinky, but. You never know. Maybe if I was wearing socks, I'd worry if I was wearing socks.
You're going to be wearing socks on the island.
Well, maybe for my sneakers, so you don't blister.
Maybe.
And like maybe at night, so that you don't get bit, you might want to pull them all the way up to your knees, like those long socks.
Am I wearing I'm going to be wearing thigh-high socks to too much leg.
I know, it's really high up.
So much leg.
Short.
Kathy says, I think juice would be a more nutritious option. I'd choose that one to get vitamins than that a tea would offer me. And the tea might have some caffeine in there. You might be a little buzzy after. So, yeah, I think I'd do
juice.
If they had a fresh squeeze grapefruit juice, I would gluggity glug glug glug.
But I am an iced tea man. Canadian.
I'm drinking iced tea right now. So
we're both like, and let's get juice. Yeah, we want the juice.
No, but I wouldn't necessarily want the caffeine.
No, I hear you.
Well, me, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like caffeine from tea is not as like, but I just don't know how it would affect me on the island. So
I would frantically run to the washroom, and by the washroom I mean the ocean.
Yeah, aqua. You're gonna be called an aqua dump king or something. Aqua dump tea king. Iced tea dump king.
Iced tea dump. Yeah.
Iced tea dumper.
Iced tea dumper. I love it. Yeah, great. That's it.
That's your
new Twitter handle.
So the caller for purple is going to be Jaime with Heidi and Carolyn pushing her around. Caller for orange is Carson with Jam Jam and Lauren pushing him. At one point, Carolyn loses the ball, and Jamie's like, not Jamie, who was in the ball again? Wait, yeah, Jaime was like, Carolyn, just follow my voice, and she's just like,
okay, yeah.
They do end up she ends up meeting back up with the ball, but they are never able to catch up with Team Orange because Carson is really effective with commanding them where to push. And then when they get to the table maze part, they pretty much were done when the purple group got there. So Team Orange is going to win reward, and that's Carson, Jam Jam, and Lauren are going to get a stinky feet massage.
Yeah.
Do you like foot massages?
No, I'm very ticklish. Very ticklish.
But it feels so good.
I know. I would
even
struggle.
after you walk 20,000 hours at that restaurant, you don't want a foot massage?
No, my feet are so ticklish. Maybe like the top of them would feel nice, but once you hit underneath, too sensitive.
I even bought one of these.
Oh, ooh, okay.
And so like I bought one for Anna as well. So after we have our shift at work, you can sit and just roll out your feet, and it feels so good.
Yeah, that actually would be nice. Maybe that would be nice. I think it's the pressure for me, like, and the gliding of like a thumb. Oh, I wouldn't say no. I would try it out. You know, I would. Why not? But I would think of.
And then all of a sudden you like reflex and you kick the person in the face. You break their nose.
Yeah, blood everywhere. Perfect.
I can actually see that happening.
Yeah.
Funny.
Sorry.
Quite funny. All right, so Jaime, though, wants to use this as an opportunity to convince them to break up Tika. Now, it's kind of silly for her to be thinking that this is a possibility because she only has Carolyn over there, and Carolyn is probably the least likely to do it since she just used an idol to hopefully keep Tika intact. So, I mean, obviously you got to try something, but I was like, I don't know if this is the plan. I think the better plan would have been something else. I guess it was maybe say Lauren. I don't know.
I mean, I honestly think this is where Carolyn lost. I think going with the girls to the end might have impressed the jury a little bit more, personally.
Maybe, but it also might have allowed the other them to get more credit that they were able to convince Carolyn to break up the Tika 3, and so
she would have to sell it that like, this is my decision. I decided to go to the end with these two. They've played similar together, like they played together, you know, trying to push that argument. I don't know, but this is also looking back, like knowing what happens.
So I'm not sure with knowing what happens that would have. I think it would have been worse.
Oh,
I just think that that Heidi might gain some more votes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like she I don't think she would have gained more votes by making that move.
Fair. That's fair. In
my opinion. Okay. Sorry if that spoiled anything, peoples. Yeah. All right. So the girls now want to break up Tika, of course. It tells Carolyn that Jam Jam was saying her name. That was in this episode, right? I was just because I was like running around and I was like, I think that happened in this episode. Yeah. And she was obviously pissed about it. And he really was saying her name. Yeah,
he was. I mean, also at the same time, at that point, like everyone's saying each other's names. You're trying to figure out who you want to sit in the end with. Everyone wants somebody different, so not everyone's going to get there.
Now, when Jam Jam and company come back, Carolyn wants Jam Jam to burp in her mouth.
Yeah.
Would you?
Absolutely not. No.
You wouldn't smell it or you wouldn't burp?
Neither one. I'm not a burper. It does bring up a gag reflex in me. My old roommate once burped and we made eye contact and I vomited into the sink. It was 8 a.m. We were on our way to rehearsal and I looked at her and went, not a burper. No. Ugh. Maybe I'd like smell their finger, or maybe I would smell his beard. I'd be like, let me smell your face.
What if he burped by accident?
I'd strike him and be taken off the island.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so now I know what to do if I need to get rid of you in a game.
Yeah. Make me strike you.
So Carolyn does tell Carson that Jaime wants him to be the vote. And then Carolyn thinks, and Carolyn and Carson think that Jaime should be the vote. Carolyn thinks that Lauren is a bigger threat though, but Carson more so wants Jaime, and so she's kind of going along with that.
Yeah.
So Jam Jam tells Jaime that Carolyn is the biggest threat, and he's telling her he's kind of warning her, I would say. I mean, like, you know, I know that you haven't written my name down because if you had written my name down, you would be sitting in the jury right now. Like, super threatening and kind of scary.
I loved it.
Yeah, of course. But like, it's kind of scary. Like, she's like, yeah.
Like, okay, cool. Yikes.
So we get to the immunity challenge, and they're going to be balancing a ball on a tray held by 2 ropes. This we've seen this one before. It seemed to go by pretty quickly. Did they ever give us a timestamp?
Never. I don't think so.
Well, out first is Jaime, then Carolyn, then Carson, then Jam Jam, then Heidi, because Lauren is going to be winning this immunity, which allows them not to be the one that was voted out this episode. And you ended up being right that Jaime was the person that went out. But I guess I was right, because I think it would, if Lauren didn't win immunity, it would have been her.
Would have been her. Oh, 100%. I think so, yeah.
Because I never really thought Jaime was a threat, but with how things configured with the reward and all that stuff, like, I can see how that had happened. But I still thought it was going to go a different way, because I'm going to talk about it when we get to the
they really set us up. They really set us up that episode. I was like, what is happening? Like, I don't know what the plan is here, and I kind of love that. I like being surprised. Yeah.
I don't. Not that I don't like being surprised, but I like following the storyline. I like following the strategy. I like seeing what is actually going on. I don't like being tricked.
Yeah, there was some trickery. Okay, fair enough. There was some trickery, but I remember sitting during tribal council and thinking, I don't know what's going to happen.
But that's what I hate.
You want to know?
Well, not that I want to know definitively, but I want to have seen, like, where I'm like, okay, this is what I think is happening. Right? And I don't like being like, ha, I got you. You didn't see this conversation, so you don't know what actually was happening. It's just kind of like new age or new vibe, like trickery. Yeah. Which I guess they're playing for you, because, like, I hate it. I like being able to follow the story.
I don't love trickery. I'm just saying I was excited that I wasn't sure what was going on. I think they really amped up the drama there, and they did make me question what Jam Jam was going to do. And I think for me,
that's fine. Questioning what Jam Jam was going to do, but like just the fact that they're always trying to make it super confusing doesn't make it more interesting to me.
No, I agree with that. I don't want to be confused.
Well, like, if we just compare it to, obviously, my favorite franchise, which is Australia, like, they didn't need trickery.
No.
Like, sometimes there were times where, like, you don't know which way people are going to vote, but there was no trickery. Like, you got all the information.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So we see Carolyn asks Heidi if she would go on Jaime, on Jaime. Heidi doesn't want to use her idol if she doesn't have to. So yeah, the plan really pretty much is supposed to be on Jaime. And then Jaime, Lauren, and Jam Jam are talking, and they're saying, like, the vote's going to be Carolyn. And then when Carolyn joins, we're all doing Heidi. And so Jam Jam and Carson talk about Carolyn, and Carson thinks that his gut says it's supposed to be Jaime. So they are giving it as a decent amount of information, but I don't know, something with the way that they do it, it pisses me off, because, like, I feel like they're just doing it for
shock.
Yeah, a shock value.
Yeah.
So
and it wasn't shocking at all.
I'll tell you what the shocking part was in a sec. So at Tribal Council, they all came prepared to be moving camps. So do you think that this twist needs to go now?
Yes.
Like, so basically they're preparing themselves to move to another camp where they have to start from nothing, but they would be going directly from Tribal. So they brought all their stuff with them, so they wouldn't be left with nothing.
And I'm assuming they're moving people so that they can start prepping for the next group of players.
Oh,
that's what my assumption is. I don't think.
I think they're just trying to make it hard.
I mean, why? There's 5 people left.
They think relax. It's interesting. I don't know. All right, so when Carolyn was talking at one point, and, like, she's talking about how she's an emotional player, and, like, that is not necessarily a weakness, and, like, she still can be strategic even though she's emotional. And then Jeff asked her something, and she's like, "Oh, I'm scared that this is my goodbye speech." And so, I mean, they were giving, like, she had a lot of looks.
Yeah.
And Jam Jam's responses were like, we've been together for 23 days, and, like, this might be the time where, you know, you have to say goodbye to somebody that you've been working with and playing the game with for so long. And like, Carolyn was looking a little nervous.
Yes, I would be too. It very much felt like a setup from the edit that she was on. This was her swan song, and we're about to lose Carolyn before the finale.
Yeah, I mean, well, everybody was convinced that it was going to be Carolyn before this episode even aired. And so for whatever reason, I just didn't feel like that made sense.
Yeah, I thought it would be Lauren, or I really did think it was going to be Lauren or Jaime, for sure.
Kathy was like, it was so funny they wrote all their stuff anticipating a new
Yeah.
camp. Mm-hmm.
Just gotta go.
It's a tired twist, I think.
Yeah.
Should be retired. All right, so it's time to vote. Everybody goes and votes. And if anybody has an idol or advantage that they want to play, now it's the time to use it. Heidi stands up and uses the idol. Heidi was never even part of any conversation.
No.
Like, just one fake conversation, which was Lauren, Jaime, and Jam Jam when Carolyn joined in. That's the only time they said Heidi. But like, I was really mad at Heidi for playing it then. I know that she was just like, let's better be safe than sorry. But like, couldn't she feel that it wasn't her at all?
While I was watching, I legit thought Heidi found a second idol and she's going to idol her way to the final four. She's going to go 5, and here's my next one at 4, or sorry, at 5. So that was my assumption. I'm like, oh, she's playing it because she must have another one. No.
I was like, she played it. Well, she said why she played it. She's like, I want to be here. I want to see 5.
Yeah, but she needed like she needed a Natalie moment. You know, like, Jacqueline, did you vote for who I told you to? Yes. That was one of the most epic idol plays that we've seen. That would have been beautiful. You know, Jaime, did you vote for who I told you to vote for? Yes. Slide it under. Jam's out. Carolyn's out. Carson's out. Surprise. A Tika member's out. You're going to 5 with 3 Tika members.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that like I feel like that was a game losing decision in front of the jury, because like, it looks like you have no idea what's going on in the game. You wasted an idol and you didn't gain any power in the game. And so like, you're right. What would have been really great is if she's like, she doesn't need the Tika 3 at this point, because if she knows who they're voting for, and then she just pulls in Lauren and Jaime, she could just be like, hey, like, who do you want out of those 3 Tikas? They say whoever, and she would have worked. I don't know. I just don't understand how she did not get. I mean, I guess she got out who she wanted, but I don't think that Jaime was the person that she needed to get out of the game.
No, but I think it was the fact that Jaime and Lauren have just had her name written down in the previous tribal. And people, you know, sometimes people act.
I mean, I could get it. I get that. You know, I want to get out somebody that voted for me. Absolutely. But at this final stage, and she couldn't get out Lauren, I think that she needed to think about breaking up those 3 people from the same tribe at the final 5. Like, that's nuts.
Crazy.
That just has to be broken up, and just doing it intentionally, I think, would have been very helpful for her story.
Yes.
But she does not get any votes. Jaime is voted out. The only 2 people voting for Carolyn were Jaime and Lauren. Everybody else voted for Jaime. And yes, they are going to a new beach. No surprise there. All right, so now we're at the Survivor finale. I haven't read these notes back, so I'm going to stumble through them. I do not know what I wrote. Okay, so Carolyn wants to find Heidi's idol now that it's back into circulation, most likely, because you can play an idol till 5. So an idol definitely has been recirculated at this point. I thought it was very funny when Carolyn was like, I got it. It was a piece of wood.
Yeah.
It was Carolyn that did that.
I think it was Jam. I think it was Jam.
Yeah, well, was that when they were all like, it was in like the dark and they were like kind of pretending, and like,
I think Carol it was the next morning when it was in the sun, and he was like, hey, a piece of wood. She's like, show me. He's like, no, wood.
So yeah, the next morning though, Heidi has no regrets. Everybody's idol hunting. Heidi thinks that she has a fabulous resume. Does she?
I mean, it's not the worst, but I wouldn't call it fabulous.
Not fabulous. I mean, I think that I could have spun her game, but I don't think she has a fabulous resume.
No. Would not call it fabulous, no.
No. So everybody's searching for the island, and then we see the camera zooming in on the idol. It's basically hidden up in a tree, and so they kept on zooming in and zooming in and zooming in and not seeing it, not seeing it, not seeing it.
Yeah. They were underneath it. Everyone, like, literally, I don't know. I think I saw a TikTok from Kelly Wentworth talking about how the second time around she definitely noticed the cameramen more and where they were going, what they were doing, and they didn't like point things out, but she could figure things out more. So I think paying attention to the crew is a really smart piece of gameplay.
Well, I think though with people that are not familiar with cameras, like
Yeah.
they're probably just trying not to look directly down the barrel of the
Yeah.
lens. So like other people that are like when her second time around, she probably in her peripheral vision was able to see where the cameras were doing. But like I think that you'd be so terrified about like ruining a shot or something like that, and like being someone that they don't want to work with because like they're hard to film. I think that's probably deterring them from like being and noticing where the cameras are.
Fair.
So the Three Stooges are still standing. Lauren thinks that Carson is a threat. And Lauren tells this to Carolyn. I'm like, Lauren, Carolyn has been protecting Carson.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to go in there? Like, Jam Jam would be a better person for her to pitch to Carolyn.
Yes. 1,000%. Jam, let's go to the end. I'm not going to vote for you. I'm taking you to the end no matter what happens. I win Final Four immunity. You're mine. I'm taking you. Sure. I think Jam could beat anyone, personally.
I'm not sure at this point, but
with Lauren, I don't know. If he's feeling confident, I'd be like, well, there's options around. So
we have the Final Five challenge for immunity. It's a 3-level obstacle course.
Yeah.
It's a collect keys, unlock a chest, drop a ladder, climb a ladder to the tower to solve a puzzle. And in addition, there's going to be a sanctuary with spaghetti, chocolate cake, carrot cake. So is it carrot cake or chocolate cake?
Oh, both incredible, honestly. But I love carrot cake.
Yeah,
carrot cake.
Yeah. Like Jeff was so surprised. Everybody like carrot cake. I'm like, carrot cake is like infinitely better than chocolate cake. Like infinitely better.
Incredible.
I would never eat chocolate cake again if I could have carrot cake.
Carrot cake instead, of course. Yeah. Gladly.
Like, I don't even like chocolate cake. It's like mid.
I like small portions with like a glass of milk. I'll take a slice of chocolate cake, sure,
milk?
but it's got to be a little tiny. I know I like my milk. It's got to be a tiny little thing, or like a mousse chocolate, like light. I can do that, but carrot cake, give me a chunk and rock tea.
Eat carrot cake, carrot muffins, carrot cake, carrot everything. I love carrots. So we would be having a lot of carrot. We'd be fighting over the carrot cake at that reward.
Oh.
And there's so many people that love chocolate and chocolate cake. It's just so surprising to me. I don't love chocolate that much.
I know. I like chocolate. I do. But if I had the option, carrot cake. Excuse me.
Am I boring you?
No, I'm just so fried from today. The sun. Fried me. I think it burnt.
Yeah, you look a little bright, we'll say. So they go through this obstacle course, and Carson wins his second individual immunity. And who did you think he was going to pick to go on this sanctuary reward?
I think he thought he would pick Jam.
Yeah, I thought he would pick Jam too, because Jam was acting a little bit like a loose cannon, and I think that Carson wanted to make sure that he didn't have the opportunity to strategize against him.
Fair, yeah.
This is my thought. So at the sanctuary, we see that Jam Jam wants Carolyn, wants Carolyn, and then Carson wants Lauren.
Yeah.
I think that it's a better idea for Carson to keep Tika together because I think that he has a decent shot at beating a Tika member just at this point.
Mhm.
He's done a lot of strategy. I think the jury was giving him a lot of credit up until this point for what was going on with Tika.
Yeah.
As you pointed out, he gets a lot of information from everybody. And so I think that keeping Carolyn in there is better for him just because the other two could turn on him
Yeah.
in a second.
And it's someone you're most likely going to beat. Lauren's proven herself in immunity challenges. She can win.
Mm-hmm.
She's won twice. I think if I was about to
Once
hit the
at this
top
point.
four. Oh no, she beat Danny too. Oh yes, sorry. No, she won last. She won last episode.
Oh,
And,
just kidding.
and Danny's. So having 2 wins, like, yeah, I'd be nervous going into final 4 with someone that's won 2 immunities.
So Heidi asks Carolyn why Carson, and Heidi chooses Jam Jam as being the person that she would like to have out of the game. So why do you think that Heidi would want to have Jam Jam? Do you think that she was recognizing that, like, Carson isn't the right pick here? She wants to keep Tika together?
I
Or sorry,
think,
she wants to keep Carson over Jam Jam?
well, Carson won. Didn't he win immunity by this point?
He just won
Yeah.
again.
So the options are Heidi, Carolyn, Lauren, or Jam Jam. If she wants, like, Heidi could win against the girls. She might be able to beat the girls. Jam Jam is beloved. People laugh. People find him charming. He's very charismatic, and she probably thinks he'll do very well sitting in front of a jury. So at this point, jury management, very important.
So why, while they're still at the sanctuary, they asked who did Jam Jam tell you to vote, and Lauren says you. So
Ooh.
Carolyn hears, like, flat out that Jam Jam was coming for her or using her as a decoy, saying her name,
Yeah.
like allowing people to be talking about her as being a potential person to vote out. So Carolyn is pissed that he said her name, and I would be too. I would be quite upset.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but he has to say someone.
I would not want one of my closest allies to be
No, of
saying
course
my
not.
name,
Of course
like
not.
bitching
But
my name.
he's who's he different? Like, he has to choose between who. Um, at that point, like, name wise, he can either say Carson or Carolyn. He made his choice, right? He didn't try and push Carson. He had to choose between the two.
So when Jam Jam and Carson come back to camp, Jam Jam feels weird. He's talking to Carson that, like, the vibe at camp was off. Carolyn was pissed.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed as though the girls had come together and they were going to vote out Jam Jam. Like,
Yeah.
that seems like what was going on.
Yeah.
And so Jam Jam tries to sway Lauren to vote Carolyn at this point. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, are they really going to be aiming at each other? Like, this is so sad, so bad, so sad.
Yes.
And so then they have, like, a final last look around the idol. We see Lauren looking everywhere. We see the idol above her head, and then fade to black, cut to commercial. Let's go right into this tribal without seeing whether or not she finds this idol.
Did you think she found it?
Well, she was smiling so much, and I'm like, is she trying to get the vote on her? Like, why is she, like, smiling and so, like, cheerful? I was like, she must have found it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if she played that up at camp a little bit more, it would have made people a little bit nervous, and like, maybe we should throw a vote on someone else here. I don't want it to be
What
me.
about when she, like, like, fully lies and she's like, oh yeah, like, like, nobody was talking to me. I know I'm the vote. Like, I know I'm going
Yeah.
home. And then Heidi and Carolyn's like, what are you
like,
talking
no,
about? We
yeah.
talked to you all day.
Yeah, that was a little strange, I thought. Not reading the room.
Yeah, well, I just couldn't understand what she was doing. I really thought that she was just trying to get people to vote for her so she'd have a correct idol play.
Yeah, if she had the idol, that would be.
That's what I thought happened. And so then I said, I think Tika switched to Heidi. That's what I thought happened there.
I wasn't sure if she had the idol or not. I thought, okay, Carson's the only person safe here. Who's it gonna be? I said I'm either gonna be really sad or indifferent.
So then Lauren starts crying and she talks
Oh,
about how she's so proud of the person that she's become. And Jeff had to pounce on the become. It's like,
ugh.
yeah, that's what this game is.
Yeah,
It's who you become. It's who you
absolutely.
become. It's like you
Yeah,
start out here and then you end up here. You become someone. You grow. You
yeah.
like it's not that serious, Jeff. It's a
Yeah,
26-day
relax.
game. Like it's for a lot of money, yes.
Sure.
And obviously you're going to learn things about yourself that you didn't know, but like he makes it seem like it's so transformative. It's
Yeah.
annoying.
Life changing.
Like it's like an Anthony Robbins like retreat
He's really
for soul
selling.
power.
He's like selling Survivor.
Right?
The
It's
soul.
like a
Survivor for the
MLM, a
soul.
multi-level marketing scheme
Yeah.
is Survivor. You get your friend in, you can move up 2 spots.
Rise the ranks.
Exactly. So, what do you think about the tribal voting music? It was so like inspirational.
Yeah, I thought, okay, so they're really pushing for the Sia vote here. Let's make Sia cry. I did think it was beautiful though. We didn't hear a lot from Lauren, so to actually hear Lauren speak and get to know her a little bit better, I
She's
like that. I
cute.
like Lauren. Yeah, she's
Super
beautiful too. My
cute.
God.
Just a cute little face.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as I said a couple episodes ago when she was talking about her dad and wanting to make her dad proud, and
yeah.
I thought that could have been a little bit of a winner's arc, winner's edit there for her. But they go to vote, and he asks whether or not anybody had an idol or advantage that they want to use, and Lauren says, "Jeff."
I don't.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boom.
Cute.
So that means that Jam Jam and that Lauren's going to be out of the game. So Jam Jam voted for Lauren. Heidi voted for Lauren. Wait, sorry, no. Jam Jam got a vote. Lauren got a vote. Heidi got a vote. Lauren got a vote. Lauren got a vote. So with 3 votes, Lauren will be entering the jury. So who voted for who? So who voted for Jam Jam?
I'm not sure to be honest. I'm assuming Lauren because Jam Jam went up to her and was like, "It's one of us. Like one of us is going."
Right. And then the 3 Laurens, was it just the 3 Tikas?
I guess so. And who was the other vote?
And
Heidi?
then Heidi got a vote.
So Heidi couldn't have voted for herself.
So did Lauren vote for Heidi? Let me see if I can
Maybe.
find it. Oh, maybe I can find it online. Well, that is it. We got to Final 4. We're going to the Final 4 challenge, and we see Carolyn crying. Wait, the view. What does that mean? I don't remember.
Oh, how beautiful! Oh, when Jeff was like,
Oh,
"Yeah,
the
look at this
location.
view." Yeah, no one.
I mean, it was quite beautiful.
Stunning.
How do you think you would do with that challenge that seems to be now the Final 4 challenge?
I think you can overthink it, and I'm very good with like short-term hand-eye coordination. I think I actually do think I do well playing it.
I've never really tried anything like that, so I actually have no idea.
I'm good with like little balls and like timing. Like I'm good at grabbing things. You know, I like the repetition. I feel like I get in a groove, and then you find the new groove.
Get into the groove, or you got to prove. Okay, I can't find these votes. That's annoying. Oh, it doesn't actually say.
Oh, God damn
Does
it.
it? Oh yeah, it does. Hold on. No, it doesn't. Lauren voted out 311. But it doesn't say. Okay, never mind. I'll look it up maybe later. Your camera's gone, or are you looking it up?
I mean, I was looking it up, but I'll go
Okay.
back.
Okay. Oh, bye, Kathy. I'll see you later on tonight.
Bye, Kathy.
Ciao, ciao. All right. So yes, this is now it's a new normal where you drop the ball in and it goes around this contraption and it goes one to the right and then you put the ball back in and then it's going to go to the left and they have to intermittently add a ball and keep it timed out well. I think I could get into the groove actually. Because like there would be a rhythm with like you'd hear the sounds of it going around and you know to like catch it and then put it in. Doom, doom, catch. And then if you're adding another ball in, you'd have to make it like a metronome. Like you'd have to get the timing of some sort. And that's what I noticed like Carolyn wasn't doing. She was just putting the ball in without there being any sort of steadiness in timing and rhythm and pace it out. And so I think that that's why she was out of that challenge first, I believe. So basically everybody is out of that one. It was down to, Jam Jam was out second. That was down to Carson and Heidi. And Heidi managed to pull out the necklace here. Carson literally drops the ball and Heidi wins Final Four immunity. And she will be the one who decides who is going to make fire against whom. And she does say to Jeff that it might be her. So what do you think about her potentially throwing herself into the fire ring?
I thought as soon as she said it, she has to do it. Otherwise, why bring it up?
Yeah, that could just be like cut out for sure.
I just hate, honestly, we'll get there. We'll talk about it.
So Heidi's actually going to single-handedly be breaking up Tika here because a Tika member will have to go home for not making fire here.
Yes.
Basically. So back at camp, Heidi wants to know if anyone wants to make fire. And like, Jam Jam and Carolyn was like, I'll do it. Like, have you ever made a fire before?
Yeah, I was in Scouts and Cubs.
So was Carson.
I also don't know how I would do out there. I think I would be practicing at home. So did Carson. But like once you're out there, I would be like helping make fire. So I would feel confident. I would also hope by the time that I played that this twist is done. I would not want to depend on fire at all. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be good at fire because like I have hyperhidrosis. So if my hands were sweaty at all, I feel like it would be ruining the flint and like, or the, like all the stuff.
The nerves.
I would always have sweaty hands in that position. And if I was hot and I had sweaty hands, like, I just don't think I'd be good at making fire under pressure like that. Yeah. I feel like it's a dry hand activity.
Yeah, I would not want to have to do that at all.
Oh boy. But I guess I want to start making fires, so just in case. Just in case. So Carson is crying because he can't make fire and he practiced, but he can't do it at like on Survivor as well as everyone else. But Carolyn practiced for 5 years. Jam Jam doesn't want Carson to fail at fire, so he helps him. Like I did nearly cry there because I was like, it was like an older dad like trying to motivate his son to
I thought it was sweet, and then I thought, but the gamer in me thought like, oh, he's just buttering up for the jury vote. Are you kidding me? If I'm with the guy that I know is not going to win fire against anybody, literally anyone, you better believe I'm going to help them out. Come on, let me teach you.
I mean, I would help out Carson though, because he was so bad at it.
And so beautiful. I have to say, beautiful. Like that boy. Sometimes there'll be shots of him. I'm like, he's beautiful. I will just say that. Those eyelashes. He's cute.
God. Well, this was the first time though in this season where I thought his age really showed.
Yeah,
because
insecurity popped up.
Yeah, he was so insecure about this, and this was so defining of him, and he wasn't able to just like shake it off and just get it done. And so that was really telling for me that like, oh right, he's 20. Like a 20-year-old would really put the weight on their shoulder for this fire making thing and not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy. That's a lot of pressure. It's $1 million. Like it's a lot of pressure for a 20-year-old. And this was the first time I really, really saw his age. And that's why I was like, okay, that's why 20-year-olds maybe shouldn't be on the show, because this might eat at him for a long, long time. Like he could need therapy just to like get over this, because it's a lot of pressure for somebody that hasn't learned to shake things off yet.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. But then there's so many more opportunities for Carson in the world of Survivor.
No, absolutely. But like things that matter to me at 20,
Yeah,
would
different.
not phase me at 40.
Yeah,
And so
100%.
I just feel as though, like, yeah, he might get, I guess he might play like 5 times. He might be,
Good.
his whole life playing Survivor every couple years. But I think that this moment here, I think that could be a little bit potentially damaging to his little psyche, his
Yeah.
esteem.
Oh.
So hopefully he's able to pick himself back up, but it's a lot of pressure for a young guy.
He takes solace in knowing that he was, never voted out, though. There's something about that to me. I'm like, okay, fourth place, you have not been voted out still.
So at Tribal, Heidi still hadn't made her decision
Mm.
who she's going to choose to make fire, whether she's going to put herself in there or if she's going to choose one of Carolyn or Jam Jam to go against Carson or whatever configuration. But she does decide that Carolyn is not going to be making fire. She's going to be sitting in the final 3. She's going to be able to pitch her case to the jury. And then Heidi decides to put herself into fire making against Carson. So they are going to be sitting beside each other, making fire, while Carolyn and Jam Jam both going to the final 3. Now, do you think that this was the right decision for her? For her odds, her chances. We don't know how the outcome would have been.
I think Carson would lose to anyone. And I think you have to feel really confident in yourself to do that. So I do appreciate what Heidi was trying to do. I just don't appreciate the fact that players think that they have to do that to win. People gave a lot of crap to Cassidy last season in 43. You should have taken off your idol and went to fire, and that would have proven that you could win. That was literally what people were saying to her in that jury when she won herself to the end. Then we see someone like Heidi win herself to the end and then make the decision to make fire, and a lot of people criticized her for it. So, I didn't
now
love that
I'm
either.
wondering if the making the fire though against Carson, if she had done it against Jam Jam or Carolyn, like would and won, do you think that would have been better for her?
No, then I think Carson wins. I think she thought she had a chance against Jam Jam and Carolyn and thought this is a resume builder here. I'm gonna beat this boy, kick him out.
See, I guess
She knew she was gonna beat him.
The thing is that so Carson does end up make a fire, and Heidi does make a fire as well. Heidi does have the fastest fire ever made, apparently.
Ever.
3-minute fire making moment. Carson, like, it was really sweet though when you could see Carolyn and Jam Jam from the sidelines being like, "No, strike it," like telling him what to do, and like it's so like mom and dad at the T-ball stands. And so he did get a fire and he was in contention, but I do think that people that were on the beach with him probably knew that he couldn't make fire, and so I just don't know if it's that impressive that she made it against somebody that she knew most likely she could beat in fire, as opposed to someone that would have been a competitor, like that people would have perceived as a competitor in fire. So I don't know if it would have helped her in the end, but I think that taking the stronger person to beat for fire might have been a little bit more impressive. Maybe. I don't know. I hate fire. Why am I talking about it?
Hate fire.
Boring.
But I will say congratulations to Heidi.
What?
Really impressive that Heidi has the fastest time. I think also the first woman to win fire making.
I don't know if I heard that stat, but I believe it.
I think it is. I think she's the first. So if that's the case, incredible. Remember when Heather almost won? Remember when Heather almost won fire? I will never forget that moment.
Me too. So Heidi, sorry. Jam Jam is the middleman. Heidi take a shot at Carson the king. Carolyn authentically herself. Oh, sorry. I'm like, what are we talking about here? So we get like a little bit of a player breakdown, and they're just talking about all the people that are left in the final 3. I do like seeing the jurors back out on the island talking about the final 3 players. I think that it's kind of like the rites of passage. And getting to hear what they're looking for in their final speeches and stuff like that. And so why are you smirking?
Because I didn't believe a word out of their mouths. None of them said what they were gonna do. Like I didn't like it. It actually made
Really?
me
Why?
angry.
Made you
It just
angry? Why?
thinking back on it, I thought I thought this tribal was going to be. I don't want to jump ahead. I thought the votes at the end were going to be much more scattered than they were. I did not expect a blowout. I expected I expected the jury to vote for like who they wanted to win and not just have a landslide. I thought it was going to be like a 3-2 or like a 1-3-2. I just was surprised, especially from what the jury was saying during this segment.
I mean, it's probably also the producers trying to not make it super obvious as
Yes,
to how the votes are going to go. And I'm sure that they talked about all three players.
definitely. Yeah,
And then they chose the pieces that they wanted to show. And so I just like seeing them again talking about each of the final three.
yeah, yeah. Of course.
And so we get to tribal, and wait, so I knew, okay, so one thing that Jam Jam said is that I knew everyone's vote whenever we went to tribal. And I thought that that was a very, very powerful thing to say, because, like, he's right. He knew
Yeah,
what everybody was doing, and he was always the one that was able to make whatever decision he wanted to make. With, like,
happened.
sometimes it would influence who was going to go home. If, like, he got all the Ticas to do one certain thing, they had that block, and he knew everybody's vote. That's very powerful.
Absolutely. Jam Jam played a great game.
Um, And then also Jam Jam was saying how he would talk to people and he did get to know him, and this is his social game. And he was saying that he would watch your facial expressions when he
Mm,
was they're telling just a regular story, a truthful story, and
yes,
then he would see this twinkle in their eye when they're telling real stories. But when he was there lying, there was no twinkle, and he picked up on that, which I thought was also very impressive.
I loved it.
Me too. So I found that the jury was very, very supportive of this final three. Like,
Yeah,
they didn't really come for them at all, which is fine. I don't need people to be dragged.
fine.
But, like, you know how, like, I hated being dragged.
No,
Like,
of
it's
course.
actually shitty.
Yeah, there's nothing
Um,
nice about it.
and, like, none of them really did anything that bad, except for maybe Heidi. Um, saying that, like, having to explain why she voted for Danny.
Yeah, I mean, but even that wasn't painful. If anything, I was really impressed that the finalists kind of got into it with one another in the sense that they weren't just like talking each other's games up. Like Heidi like tried to call up Jam Jam a couple times, saying like, "Well, I believe
She
better
kind of
with
cut him off a
Carson."
few times, which I
Yeah,
felt as
I
though
know, I didn't love that.
wasn't great in the eyes of the jury.
But passionate and like being a little. People aren't used to seeing, an aggressive gameplay talk in the final three tribal councils. It's been much more of a discussion, right? The jury's just, I think, pretty chill. I think it's a really nice cast. We don't see a mean personality, very few villains. But I love a good villain personally. I like a little bit of dissension. Obviously, not name calling. Obviously, not two bitter Bettys. I don't think anyone voted bitterly, which I love. Do not think it was a bitter jury. So I appreciate
Um,
that.
I don't think, in my opinion, that Heidi talked up her game well. Personally, I
Fair.
felt that the more she talked, the more I was like, "Yeah, I'm not. You're not selling me on this game."
Mhm.
And so at that point, it was between Jam Jam and Carolyn for me.
Yep.
But I would assume that the jury could also see Carson really coaching Carolyn with her answers,
Which
and,
I
like,
didn't
very
appreciate, to be honest.
pardon?
I didn't
Par
really appreciate that.
That's what I think that it could have been bad for Carolyn's
Yeah, I
game.
think he needed to relax a little bit. She was absolutely fine the way she was. She can handle
But she
herself.
was not actually giving great answers. Like, she could have said more things.
Of
I
course, yeah.
think that could have helped her case. And also with Carson coaching her, I think that it lost a little bit of her credibility of
Yeah.
being the person that was steering her own game and was, strategically savvy. So
Yep.
I think the duo of that lost Carolyn this game, because when it's time to vote, we learn that Heidi gets one vote from Danny,
Yeah.
and that Jam Jam gets 7 votes. Clean sweep for sure. And Carolyn, who most people thought was a front runner here, was a no vote finalist.
Yeah.
So she unfortunately did not win the game, but she did come in third place here. Heidi's going to come in second place, and Jam Jam is going to be the sole survivor of season 44. Now, I didn't write anything
My
else
last
after, but we
pick.
could just talk about it. Yeah,
He was my last. He was my last draft
I
pick.
won some money with Phil's Survivor.
Oh, good.
So at least
Amazing.
I got money there.
Yeah,
and
you
I'll be
did.
talking about my feelings about having Jam Jam with Sarah's Survivor pick and not winning the game today at 9:30.
Oh, great. Let's get into it.
I didn't win the draft, but I had the winner again.
Again, for you, Big Brother and Survivor. Okay. She needs to switch that draft up.
I'm gonna have some words today.
Yeah. Yeah. Get them ready. Write them down. Like this is Love Actually. Drop, 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 drop. I'm really happy with Jam Jam. That's a very satisfying winner. You know me, like I'm rooting for the girls, but I was
Queer
happy for
Puerto
Jam
Rican
Jam.
man. I'm happy about it.
Yeah, I'm happy about it. Should we talk a little bit of tea post show? Okay, so the Thea Awards. She gave them out to 3 people. You watched everything, I'm assuming. Lauren receiving 15, Carson receiving 15,000, and Carolyn with 100.
And I loved how it was revealed on Rob as a podcast. Yes. So Carolyn was doing an interview with Rob, and Sia pops in, and she couldn't even contain herself. That she does get the large award from Miss Sia.
Yeah.
And I think it was just so fitting because, I think that Carolyn did deserve at least a vote or two.
Yeah.
And to get like a second place. Well, I think that Jam Jam spoke better.
I agree, but Frannie, I thought for sure Frannie was giving.
Frannie was going to be voting for who she thought played the best game. And as much as she loves Carolyn, Jam Jam really, really showed how, if he's the 3 things that I've already mentioned that he did, like saying that he knew where all the votes were going, saying that, whenever anybody that voted me out is going to be sitting on the other side, saying that like, whatever the last thing was, I just think he thought he articulated things that were impressive to the jury, and Carolyn just didn't do that great of a job of articulating what she did.
I absolutely get it. I just think as a jury member, I'd be a little strategic at the same time, right? Remember Reed? He was like, he wanted to make sure that
didn't get second place.
That Bailey's mom didn't get second place. What was her name? Remember? I talked so much about that season today. But he voted for Jacqueline just so that she would get the second place money, which was incredibly bitter. But if you were in the final 3 and I knew someone else was sweeping it, you better believe I'd be like, let's get a vote or 2 on you, so at least I know that you're getting the money.
Well, I think that's what Danny did.
Yeah, that's 100% what Danny. But I mean, looking around, I would think, okay, Danny's gonna vote for Heidi. They were ride or dies. Frannie was just a surprise to me. I'll say that. I thought it was gonna be if it was going to be a blowout, a 5 to 1 to 1, or 6 to 1.
6 to 1. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. What I've been hearing when people have been talking about how this has been the vote for every season in the new era has been a 7 to 1 to 0.
Yeah.
And they're wondering if it's because people are worried that if they don't all pile on who they actually want to win, that someone that they don't want to win might sneak by and represent the season. So that they make like a pact that like, okay, we're all going to vote for Jam Jam. So Jam Jam's going to be the winner and the representative of our season. Yes. And so that they just wouldn't have somebody by accident. I don't know. That's what they're speculating.
I know, I hate it.
So yes,
vote for who you want to win. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. We need to talk to these jury members, but they're probably sworn to secrecy. Once again, though, we have the reunion right after. Hate it.
There is nothing worse than watching, I don't know. I just want them to go home and shower and feel better and then talk about the game that they just watched on TV and reflected on. You know what? I'm okay with this if we get another reunion. You know what I mean? Like, let's do a live, like a pre-show. This is what happened afterwards. Let's talk about a couple things, and then a live reunion of them.
Or like not reveal the vote like they used to and like save it for 3 months.
I wonder when that will start again. I wonder if it will. Now
I
that the
don't
world
know.
is
Like,
not a COVID.
obviously, I'm gonna watch Survivor, but I'm just like, it doesn't grab me as it used to grab me before. You know, like I used to be obsessed with Survivor, obsessed, and
Yeah.
now I'm just like, I watch it because it's habit.
Yeah, when's Australia happening next?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it.
When does the UK start?
I don't know if anything could top this season of Survivor Australia.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
That was unbelievable.
It,
Though, should we talk a little bit about 45?
sure.
Anything interesting that
Well,
I
you have
mean,
the most interesting stuff
yeah,
that I know. I don't know anything.
I just know about there's a Canadian, the guy from BC who wants to play like a villain. Caleb, I think his name is, super cute. There's the guy from Sequester, Brandon Donlin, who Twitter blew up over. I don't think I've played with him or met him, but I remember
I
seeing
feel like
him.
he's familiar though to
Oh
me.
yeah. I've absolutely recognized him. I think I followed him like pre-Survivor, but awesome, good for him. Happy that he's on the show. Though, like the story about your grandpa, I was like, okay, like cool. Like your grandpa was a thief. He was a bank robber. What about you? What do you do? Tell me about you. Not that I care what they do outside of the island. That other guy that like lives with his grandmother too. I'm like, okay, so there's a lot of grandparents talk.
I mean, but it's what like the people need to do is like, what's your
Yeah,
story? What's your story?
yeah,
So maybe he's gonna play like a bandit. Maybe he's gonna be sneaky and stealing food and like, you know,
good.
maybe that's why they're bringing it up. I don't know.
And we have a truck driver. So many people were complaining about not having. They're like, we want regular people like truck drivers. And then 2 days later, it was revealed that a truck driver she will be playing. I'm like, yes, maybe the second coming of Sue Hawk. Like,
Natalie here says that they need to cast more hot people. Yeah.
okay, Janelle. Yeah, I don't think this cast is ugly though. I don't think
No, I
45 is
mean
ugly.
everybody's always attractive.
Yeah,
For sure.
and I think like there's what 3 boys that have glasses. People are calling them all nerds. They're gonna take their glasses off. I'm sure.
And then you're gonna have a crush on them.
I'm sure one of them will be absolutely beautiful or not. Who knows? But I don't need hot people on Survivor. I don't care what they look like.
I wouldn't mind seeing some eye candy because like there's no strategy anymore.
Yeah,
So
there's been some eye candy. There has been countless beautiful people on Survivor. I think even Big Brother, like
I haven't had a Survivor crush in a while.
yeah, it's been a while for me too. I think.
Like I
Who's the
think
last Survivor
Boston Rob
crush?
is the only Survivor crush I've ever really had.
So I will say
Oh, I liked
Ricard.
Ozzy at one point.
I had definitely crushed on Ricard during season 41.
I mean, don't even,
42. I don't think there was a. Oh, Hi. I guess Hi was really cute. 43. Oh God.
I guess Brandon was my crush this season.
Yeah, Brandon's handsome. So yeah, I guess no. You know what? I had a crush on Carolyn this season. Carolyn was absolutely my yeah. I would have been mothering her the entire time. Like, yeah, could be your friend.
Well, we managed to get this all done in a quick hour and 3 minutes.
Yeah, just
Is
discussed
there
4 hours
anything
of television.
else about Survivor 44 that you want to talk about?
Oh, I really love Tika post show. I was watching some of their lives. I love the joke about them all getting their lips done. That cracked me up. Truth is, Carson had like used her plumper, like her bee stuff, like her stingy stuff, and it made his lips swell. I thought that was super cute. I don't know. To be honest, I really like this cast. I just hope that next season we have some organic villains that people aren't destroying online. Because I love a good villain. I love when like someone is playing dirty, and I'm rooting for that.
I mean, it's hard for that to happen in this new era.
Yeah, and I don't
Because
love
the
that.
tribes are so small that like if you act too much like a villain, the 5 of them will vote you out. Like
But we had like Shan and Ricard do it beautifully in 41. I considered them two villains, and I was rooting for them that entire season. 42 villain. I don't know. Like Omar was a villain. Maybe was he a nice villain? I don't know. I like a good villain story that I just don't feel like we've been getting a lot of. And if we do, they're just absolutely destroyed on Twitter. Social media hates them. I don't want nice people. That's what I'm saying. I want you to play like that. Like what gets you?
you
the
like
win.
Russell Hands. You're a Russell Hands stan.
No. Oh, I hate Russell. I despise that man. I think he's an ugly person inside and out. But I like I'm more of a like a Parv villain. I'm more of a Boston Rob villain. I'm more of a Sandra villain, a Jerry villain. Um, Russell can't do Russell. No, a Courtney villain. Yeah, I want people that are self-interested and are unapologetic about it.
Fair. Yeah, we definitely don't get that anymore, but it doesn't actually work for this new era, to be
No.
honest. So anybody that might have been that version were probably voted out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see any of it. Anything
Fair.
else that happened after the season that you wanted to chat about?
What else? What else? Oh, did you see their live reaction to watching season 44 premiere? The clip? So during season 43, season 44 got together, a bunch of them, and they dressed like their favorite contestant.
Oh, right. I just saw the photo.
Yeah, so it was really beautiful to watch. Like I got goosebumps. I actually like swelled up. Like, why do I care about these people so much? I thought it was beautiful. Like three of them dressed up like Jam Jam. Heidi dressed up like Carolyn. Um, Carson dressed up like Claire. And they were just so excited to see their season, and it was beautiful to watch. So I hope to get that reaction from season 45. Though we kind of had the initial intel from Danny that season 44 was close, right? They got along.
Oh,
They had they were a friend group. They all really got along. So I didn't think the season was going to end on a sour note. I will say that.
So Natalie wants to know if I'm going to talk about The Bachelorette. Maybe. And have I seen the challenge? Yeah. So I mute Gamer Vev. And so I saw that they have the cast dropped. On Sunday, I think I'm gonna go live and do just a reveal, and I'll just unmute each tweet so I can see who these players are. So I don't know who they are yet. I will do a live reveal on Sunday.
Good. Just be careful because of all the USA 2 spoilers too.
No, I won't see any of those.
Okay, thank God.
Everybody's muted or blocked.
Thank God. Good. Though I saw the rumored cast today. There's a couple of people where I'm like, oh, I know who that is. Cute. Or I recognize that face. I think you might be happy with the cast. I'm sure it'll be fine. There's some. Ooh. I'll say that.
Don't know yet. So Sunday, I think we're going to do at 2 p.m. Eastern to talk about this new cast that has dropped. The Bachelorette, like, as much as I love supporting Black women, I just felt that she was just kind of boring. So I'm just not sure if I'm interested in her season.
What's her name?
Charity.
Cute. She's beautiful. I saw a video.
She's very pretty, but she was very boring.
Yeah. They usually make for the best bachelorettes, though, don't they?
No,
they don't at all. So the only Bachelorette I ever watched was Trisha's season. No, I watched Trisha's season, and I watched the next one. I think her name was Erin. She had like a short little brown bob.
Meredith?
Meredith. It was Meredith, yeah. And then it stopped.
Yeah, that was about 20 years ago.
Yeah, actually. And haven't done it since.
Yeah, I mean, so the girl that's the new lead, she was beautiful and sweet, and she cried all the time. She has a nice family, but she never popped as like an entertaining energy. And so I just don't know if I would care about her dates. Of course, I want her to find love, but I'm just kind of like, I want somebody with a little more pizzazz personally.
Do it on your own time. You don't need a camera crew in front of you, Charity.
I mean, they wanted to do it for representation, right? So, anyways, well, thank you, Jojo, for. Let's look at our draft. Hold on, I lost this one. Happy that
3 people in the finale. 3.
It's impressive.
And I think was it Ron that had Heidi or Phil?
Phil
had it. Okay, Phil had Heidi. And you had Carson, I think.
All right. So, yes, I had Carson. I'm going to get this out of here.
Shut up, Ad.
All right. So, who left the game? So, we had. Oh, man. God, did Frannie leave before Danny? Yeah, right?
Yeah. Did she? Yes.
And then I think it was Danny.
Danny
And then
boy.
Jaime.
And then Lauren. And then Carson. And then Carolyn.
Team Mother wins
Team
with
Mother.
Jam Jam as
Happy
our
Pride.
sole survivor.
Yes. Happy Pride.
Congratulations, Jam Jam. I do love the fact that he wrote his name down beside the winner of season 44. I love that he put that manifestation into action and he won this season. So congratulations, Jam Jam. You are a worthy winner for sure. Great personality. And, you know, I had a feeling when they kept on saying, you know, you write my name down, you go home, that he was going to be the winner. Like, why were they going to show that so many times if they weren't trying to build up his story arc? So I feel like I'm not surprised like I was the last 3 seasons. I think that they showed him be a winner. So congratulations, Jojo and Jam Jam. So Joe Jam, Jam Joe. For picking the winning person, the winner of this draft. So you get to decide the order of the draft for 45.
Oh, amazing. Who had Gabler last year? Do we know? Was he an audience pick? I feel like he wasn't chosen or something. I wonder.
Gabler. He definitely would be an unchosen type.
Yeah.
You know, because
you know, thought he'd be first boot.
Let's see if I still have it here.
I wonder.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe we didn't do a draft.
Maybe not.
Because I only have 41 and then I don't have 42 or 43. So maybe we didn't do a draft.
I know we did one for 42.
42? We did?
Yeah, I mean, because I chose Marianne. But I don't remember 43.
How come I don't have it here, though? That's strange.
I don't know. Look around. Look on Insta later. Check it out.
And maybe I didn't do a tier maker.
Yeah, maybe. It's possible.
It's possible. Well, thanks again, Jojo, for being here today. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Like this video. Let us know. Do you think that Jam Jam was the rightful winner here? Do you think that Carolyn should have gotten any votes? What do you think about this whole 710 new era votes and the final 3? What are your thoughts about this? What do you think is going on? What is broken? Tell us your thoughts about these first 4 seasons of the new era. Are you looking forward to season 45? Please let us know in the comments as you like this video, and then we will see you soon for Survivor 45, probably in like 4 months.
Seriously.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.